Market update here on the 6th. I'll start off with Tesla again. So another terrible, choppy trading day. The price action doesn't really make that much sense, that kind of day. The best thing that I can say about this is it did not break above this. So this morning when we got that retrace, I sold everything around 243, 244. And then I bought puts immediately, and my goal or my thoughts were I will stop out if we go above 246.70, and we double topped right here. I didn't sell. I sold two different times though today. I sold right here, and I sold some right here. I did not have any right here actually, and I actually bought some shares. I'll get back to here in just a second. So the best way to look at this, in my opinion, is DXY move. Because this was 5 waves, this was an A wave, it looks like this one a little bit past the 1.61 fib, and then we got this move down here. So I was just looking for this move right here. I was going to, buy puts right here, and this was going to be a second wave. But it ended up doing this right here. And so that makes me think that this is a and this is a B wave. So I don't know if this is bottomed yet or not, but I think that there might be another wave. This is not one of the more confident calls though, because we are still below 246.70 and the chart looks pretty bearish overall, so it's kind of going against the grain to buy shares here, but I'm hedged with some puts and some cover calls and that kind of stuff. So what makes me think that this is potentially a B wave is this same structure that I keep on talking about in a lot of different stocks. We get an ABC move that breaks the high and then we dump. That looks like an expanded flat to me. So if that's an expanded flat, then we could potentially come down here to 238 tomorrow morning, bottom there, and then come up here to maybe even only 248. But the 1.61 fib is actually at 255. We're not going to go that high. But if we come down here to 238, I think we can still go up to maybe 252. That might be a little bit high too. I think it's got to stay below 252.79 though, so it might not go that high. Maybe it just comes up here to 248, 249 if it does work out that way. But the reason that I'm bullish is also because you look at this 5-minute standard deviation. We pretty much respect this for the most part. Down here at the bottom, hit the top, sell off to the bottom again. Top up here on Friday is 248 to 250. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on Tesla. Overall, that still would be a second wave. So 1, 2, and then we could dump. Finally get a big move down like that. And hit the target of 210 to 215. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. If it starts going past that, we have a huge demand zone right here. I think we're ready for a bounce. There's a lot of 240 puts as well. So that's pretty much what I think on Tesla. But again, even if you're looking at this traditional technical analysis, it kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern as well. I think on the daily as well. Let me see. Yeah, it's just looking like a head and shoulders pattern now. So if you're looking at it like this, you would expect a dump down here and then maybe a retrace and then more dumping. I'm looking for 210 to 215. So that is Tesla. We're just playing between these two demand zones on the daily. So I'm going to go over alt. This one's been running hard the last week or two. So you've been following this one. Yeah, I bought some shares. I got in kind of late though, but I'm not really that worried about it. I don't have a big position on it. I only got like, I think I have 700 shares, and it's not a big position at all, just because there is a lot of risk here, and I think it can go to 10 bucks, but look at the weekly chart. We have a huge gap right here at 1018, and it's exploding right now. I think that, let's go over the waves. I think this was a first wave, second wave, and I think that we finished a fourth wave at the close. So we have 1, 2, potentially even a fourth wave of a third wave, but I'm just going to count it like this. I'd be looking for 862, and then pull back, and then probably 10 bucks. So invalidation on this one is going to be, if it breaks below 626, I'd be worried. And then, of course, if it goes back into 586 into the first wave, then it's pretty much done. So a normal fourth wave would go to potentially 605, but like 657. We went to 680. And 680, and we have that same pattern again. It keeps on showing up, and it's really nice because it allows me to be more confident that we're going to go higher. We get this A wave down here, we get a B wave that breaks the top of A, and then we get a huge C wave down. Fourth wave should be about finished, and I would expect a rip probably tomorrow to 865, maybe 820. So we're at 710 post market, finished at 688, so up overall. After hours, looking for a pretty big move tomorrow. We'll see what happens. SOFI is selling off here. I sold one of my swing positions up here. It's kind of hard to say if this is finished or not. It is a pretty big move down. I don't really like the way it finished though if you are a bear. So if we zoom out here, we hit the, if I was measuring from here down to here and up to here, we hit the top perfectly. So that's one reason why it could have topped out, and we got a 5-wave move down. The weird thing is, it looks like a third wave finished. Maybe. So it looks like a potentially a B wave, but probably not. Probably just maybe an A wave here. It could be an A wave, and we could be doing a B wave. We could still see 868. So we either topped out here, or we're going to go here to 868, and this is going to end up being an overall B wave with an extended C wave, kind of the same idea. So it really just depends on the retrace. Is it going to be a corrective retrace or a impulsive move up here to weekly supply? So we should get a move back up tomorrow. We finished 5 waves. You can see here pretty clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should at least, if that is the top, we should at least retrace to 814 to potentially 831, or we go up to 868. AFRM, I have puts on this. It's just way overextended on the weekly time frame. You can see here almost touched 2 standard deviations. On the daily, it's like really, really far outside of standard deviations. Right up through weekly supply, I bought some at 41, and I bought some at like 39.50. Sold some of them already because same structure as SOFI or SOFI. 5 waves. So this should retrace to at least 40, potentially all the way up here to 41. And I would say this one is definitely finished. But on the retrace, I'll be adding more puts with a stop above the high. SOFI, that means it's probably finished as well, just because they're on the same algo pretty much. But we'll see tomorrow. Should be a nice retrace though, where you can sell some covered calls. What else I was watching today? PayPal. PayPal is, I'm still looking for this to hit 61 to 62, but it just is being really stubborn. Just want to see this on lower time frames and see. We'll see what happens with PayPal. I'm not really worried about this stock. It's just way too cheap. And I think it is a corrective pattern though, so that's something to watch out for. We're probably going to end up getting it. I go back and forth, I guess, on this one, but this did not retrace to the 0.5 fib. And then there's a lot of overlapping moves, so I think it is WXY. So still just waiting for it to hit 61.20 to sell part of my position. That is the daily supply zone, I think, or maybe weekly. Daily supply zone right up there. We still have not hit that yet. So we'll probably hit that, and then we get a correction in the market. I'd be looking for 54, potentially even 52. So that is PayPal. What else we got here? What else was I watching today? Let me see. Palantir. Oh, NIO. NIO had a nice move, but it retraced back down here again. We'll see what happens with this one too. It looks like it's coming out. The reason I sold part of my position at 780 is because of this coming down here again, the B wave. And so I think overall this is a corrective move. But if you look at the whole move from like zoomed out on the daily, it can still go up here to like, it can come up here and double top here, or maybe even go a little bit higher, because the whole structure right here is a. So again, another one of those moves. There's a lot of these moves right here, a lot of C waves going on right now. That's why everything's running hard, I think. 815 potentially out here to 961, but there's a lot of resistance up here, so I would say it's more likely it topped out right here at 827 because they retraced a bunch. But it still has potential to come up here all the way to maybe in this resistance area right here. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say on that one. What else we got here? Okay, Palantir. Palantir right on track from what I said in the other video. Making a third wave here. Minimum target down here at 1480. I will probably buy some shares down there if it does go to 1480, unless it looks like it's going to go lower than that. But yeah, this is just a C wave again. Another C wave. It's just doing a different C wave. The other ones are going up. Palantir is going down. But again, this is going to be a fourth wave, so it can go all the way down here to 1023, which is highly unlikely, but it could do that. We do have a gap fill down there actually, so that's something to watch out for. 1027 gap fill. A lot of people will be going crazy if it went down to 1027, but I don't think it's going to, because too much pressure to buying pressure in this stock, and that would also retrace into the first wave. So I would say it's more than likely 1230, 15 to 1230 is probably your buying zone right there. Okay, let's look at some of the tech stocks real quick. So Microsoft, nice move down, 368. Let's just look at this on lower time frames. I haven't looked at this all day, so give me a second to. It looks corrective to me, and that's not what we want to see if this was going to be a big move down. So it could still go lower, but I would actually lean towards a move down here to 345 and 324. So there's a gap here at 338. Maybe that's the target. There's a gap here at 356. And yeah, looks good. Nice corrective move. Probably going to a minimum of 338. NVDA. $455, minimum move of 429, and there's a gap here at 423. Just a corrective move. I'm looking for 423 on that. QQQ. Again, just looking for this to come down here. I already went over that, didn't I? Let's go over SPY. So SPY, I'm looking for gap fills right here. We have gap fill right there. Gap fill right here. We're probably looking at a minimum retrace. 434. So I'd be looking for this 430 gap fill on this move down. It's a corrective move, so that's the most likely scenario. Just down to 430, that is like 5-6%. And if that happens, I'd be buying the dip because we're probably going to get a new highs. And the dollar. Dollar making its way higher. Second wave. 104.90 minimum. Looking for probably 105.60 to 105.97. I don't think that this is a new move to new highs. I think it's a second wave. So that is pretty much it. Let me know if there's any stocks you want me to look at. It's kind of a crazy time in the market because all these stocks are finally popping that haven't been for a while. And so hopefully you're making some money on this, taking advantage of it. It's been really good for my portfolio over the last couple of weeks. But it's also time to start being like conservative now because we're going to get a dump probably in the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. Whenever this, probably actually early next week, I would say, we're probably going to start dumping. And then it's probably going to last till the end of the year, I would say. So that is pretty much it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next video.